Hey, this is Derek with Boise Cylinder Head Services. Today we're continuing on with this 1981 Toyota Starlet cylinder head, 1.3 liter. We have gone through and torn it down, ground the valves, glass beaded the cylinder head, and now we are prepared to cut it on our seat and guide machine. We're going to take the cylinder head over there, mount it in the machine behind me, get a carbide pilot to go in there, level it off both ways, front and back, side to side. And then we're going to measure the exhaust valves and the intake valves and find out exactly where we want our seat contact. Then we're going to measure that out, set our cutter, cut the exhaust seats and then the intake seats, verify our seat contact, and then we're going to move on to the resurfacer. So I'm going to carry this thing over to our machine here, bolt it in, and get started. This is our Rottler SGF8 seat and guide machine. This is a very expensive piece of equipment and makes life really easy for us here and consistent. We can put our seat profile exactly where we want it with our fancy cutters I'm going to show you here in a minute. And it keeps all our cylinder head work really consistent and precise. Let's see. This thing flipped around. Once we get this thing clamped in, we can get our pilot and level it off. Ooh. Ooh. There we go. So this thing has just a little pin here and a little plate that we can screw down here to tighten the head into the fixture. It also has a couple of stoppers back here so we can keep our head in there level. Right here, there's one on the other side, so preferably we have a flat surface that continues the length of the head that we can use to set up our cylinder head in there nice and evenly. All right, now that we got it torqued down, I'm going to grab one of our pilots here. We have a big selection of pilots, different sizes, some just a thousandths away from each other. These are really stiff, rigid carbide pilots that don't have much give, so it gives us a nice clean cut. I'm going to start off here in the center and eyeball it at first here to kind of get us in the ballpark. Then we have an electronic digital level up here attached to the machine that tells us the positioning of the machine, both forwards and backwards. And there's our little level readout. This is left to right or front to back with the cylinder head. And this is side to side. We want it to be pretty close to the zero. I'm going to take this off and I'm going to match the cylinder head to that number up there so that our workpiece is level with our cutting piece. I'm just going to change it until it gets down to zero or close to it. Right there looks pretty good, and we can tighten our fixtures. Make sure nothing changed on our level. It did not. And then we're going to check side to side here. And we want this to be at least consistent with our head fixture there. This is a pretty old head. It's probably seen better days, so I imagine there's a fair amount of distortion and warpage within the cylinder head. I'm going to check a couple of them here and see how far off that is. And that's a little more than I like to see. We're just going to check across the board and kind of get a little idea of what we're working with here. Looks like this thing's got an L-shaped warp to it that's causing half the seats to be a little tilted. So what we can do here is we're just going to have to set the cutter to each hole. And we can tilt that head fixture up here left or right to match the hole that we're cutting. So we'll just do that as we go. I'm going to set our exhaust seat cutter up. This is our cutting edge right here. and there's several different angles. This is a 7+ angle cutter here. We got a 45-degree angle, which is the contact angle from the seat to the valve. So we're going to set that about midway on the valve, verify it, and then we'll cut all 4 of these exhaust valves. So I'll use this little fixture here to get our point on our valve that we want contacting. I have an intake and exhaust valve right here, and we'll just slide this right into this little fixture here. We'll get this pinpoint right where we want it as far as the top of the seat, or the outer edge of the seat contact goes. Maybe a little lower. Right about there should be sufficient. And pop that out. Use our carbide cutter to recreate the valve, so to speak. And then we'll loosen this fixture up here and adjust our cutter out to where we want it. So I'm just setting this to the outer edge of the 45. This one's this is a pretty tiny valve here. Might have to switch to a different cutter. Yeah, we're pretty close. I'm not sure this one's going to work out. I'm going to do a little double check here just to see if it'll pan out. With these tiny valves, sometimes you need a really tiny cutter. That is our favorite cutter to use, but sometimes it doesn't work out the best. It's close. It's close. I'm going to switch to a different cutter. Make sure we get the proper finish here. This is our tiniest cutter for smaller inside diameters. We use this on like Hondas, some Subarus, anything with a really tiny head diameter on the valve. That's this point in between my fingers there. The width of that is the head diameter. So we'll just take this cutter fixture off and swap it around for this tinier one. Then we'll be able to get our contact area exactly where I'm trying to put it. In the contact area, there's a lot of factors that are involved in that. Heat distribution in the valve, wear, and the farther out you put it on the valve, the more airflow you get, but the less longevity you get. And so we want a happy medium where we get decent performance, but also have something that's going to be reliable for a little while. Close. I'm sure it's hard to see in the video there, but I'm just putting our cutting edge on the outer side of the 45 right where that needle is, because that's where I want it on our valve. I think that'll do it. We're going to get it in our machine, double check our level for each seat as we cut, and then we'll start cutting some metal out of this thing. Again, I'm going to check our level. We're at 0 here and negative 0.01. So we have a little bit of a range. We can be about 0.03 off of the 0. And we're good this way, which is side to side on the cylinder head. But this way we got about 0.12 off. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to put this on our machine, loosen up the head fixture here, and just move this whole fixture over to where the seat is, about 1.2. So that puts our cutting fixture directly consistent with the guide, and then all we have to do is cut that seat. I'm a little concerned that our fixture here is going to be in the way. We're going to do a test here and see if we can get down and cut the seat without running our fixture into that piece. Yeah. So it does look like we'll be able to contact it without any issues there. Just going to lock our piece in place. Check our speed up here, and then we're going to turn this thing on and start cutting as soon as I set this gauge. This gauge controls our depth up here. I'm going to set it to 0 where we first contact, and as we cut, it'll tell us how far we go into the cylinder head and how much we change things. So here we are. We're going to start it and do a little cutting. And right here we'll see the the cutter start cutting the valve seat, and I'm just looking for that 45-degree angle to drop in and cut clean. And then we'll use our Peruvian blue to confirm that our contact area is where we want it and that it's seating all the way around. That looks pretty good to me. Let's lift it up and take a peek. Shut off our cutter. And we'll pull this pilot out. You can see that seat contact in there, nice and shiny clean. There's no pits. And that's how we want it. You know, the pits are what we're trying to get rid of, the wear. Sometimes the seat gets pounded in. Yeah, to check our contact area, I got this Peruvian blue. It's really dark blue, or Persian blue gel here. Non-drying gel. And we can just smear that around the face of the valve here. We don't want a crazy thick coat, but enough to coat the surface. And what we're going to do is we're going to slap that into the seat. And that should reveal us our seat contact, where it is located on the valve, and if we're hitting the valve contact area all the way around the seat. So just a couple quick taps. And you can see the whitened spot on the seat is our contact area. The darker blue is where the Peruvian blue got squished to. And if you look at our valve here as well, you can see a nice clean strip, other than my thumbprint there, of where we've contacted that seat. And I'm really happy with where that seat placement is. It's on the mid-high range, outer edge, which will be perfect for this old 1981 Toyota Starlet. All right, so now all we got to do is bounce down the line here, verify our level is proper, and cut the rest of these seats. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to get this head to the surfacer. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to continue on with the resurfacing video next, and thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification button. And remember, it's all in your head.